welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited to be doing a purchase or pass with you. As you guys probably already know, this was originally started by Samantha March, and I really enjoy her videos as well as many other creators that do this type of video, so I decided to start doing them myself as well. If you are interested in seeing what's coming out in terms of new makeup releases and you want to know what my opinions are on them, stick with me. We're going to get into it right now. I will make sure to leave info for the places that I get my reference work from down below so that you guys can see that. But let's go ahead and get started with this little duo from Fenty. For the Lunar New Year, they are releasing an orange gold colored lip gloss and then a diamond bomb highlighter. The highlighter looks a little bit too deep for me, but I really think that that orangey gold lip gloss color is really pretty. So if they sell that in a single, I may at some point pick that one up because I do think that it looks really nice. Okay. ColourPop revealed these 5-pan sort of mini palettes, and they're $10 a piece. Two of them have pressed glitters in them, so already those are not for me. Two of them are very warm toned, so those two also not for me. The only one that kind of interested me was the Ballad one, which was a cool tone kind of smoky palette, and I may eventually pick that up after seeing a couple more reviews. I only saw one review so far and it was not glowing, so I want to see whether or not other people feel that this palette is a good quality. If not, I'm going to skip over it, especially because their 9-pan palettes are only $12 to $14 depending on if they're like collabed with a Disney product. Paying $10 for 5 shades seems like not as good of a value, but who knows. Okay. This actually got launched and pulled before I even had a chance to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, and that is the MAC Sims collection. My understanding is that they took an entirely already created 9-pan palette and just put it inside of a blue box that said Sims on it and called it a collab. I think that is the laziest collab I have ever seen in my life. Definitely would not have picked this up even if it was still on the market. I was reading an article that talked about how they've already actually pulled it from the market because it had such an embarrassing set of reviews so far. Ridiculous. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the Midas Cosmetics is releasing 2 brush sets, and they have sort of like a there's a red and white set and a black and white set, and they have like bandana prints all over them, like a paisley bandana print, and I think they look really pretty. Like, I'm sure all these brush sets are really not that expensive to make, and I don't know the price of this one, but it should be coming out on the 15th, so we should know a price soon. But I do think they're really pretty. I would definitely lean towards the black brushes rather than the red ones, because red is really just not a favorite color of mine, clearly. And I did actually just film a look using their exotic peacock palette, so if you're interested in seeing how I got this look, that video should be coming up probably sometime later this week. Okay, the next thing is the BH Cosmetics Los Angeles palette and an Aspen highlighter palette. I think both of these palettes look pretty. However, I feel like I don't 100% need them right this second. When I see the swatches from TrendMood though for the LA palette, those like peachy colors and the shimmers look really vibrant on her skin tone, so I am definitely drawn to them. I'll have to see what the reviews look like. Hopefully they're as good as the other square pan palettes that they've done. As far as the highlighter palette, probably won't pick that one up, but I do think it's interesting the shades that they picked out. Okay, next thing to talk about is the Abstraction palette from You Can Be. This is hideous. Like, I'm very sorry. There's way too many shades, way too many redundant shades. I know they think they're being inventive putting those 3 like stripy shades in there, but it's just, this ain't it. This ain't it. Next thing is the Blueprint stack from Melt Cosmetics, and this stack really intrigues me because I think the blues and the browns together will look really nice. I think you could do some really pretty looks with that. However, I don't know what the quality is going to be like because I did not hear like the best things about the quality in the stack itself. So I would want to wait and see what the quality is reported to be, like if it's as good as She's in Parties or if it's as bad as 420 before I would make a decision about purchasing, because their palettes are pretty expensive. I will say though that the outside sort of like blueprint engineering kind of vibe that they have on it is awesome, and I really love that vibe. I normally don't mention nail polishes as part of my purchase or pass, but I did want to mention this one. I do follow a lot of like indie polish brands, like very indie, not like light slacker, like very indie polish brands. And this one from Linby Designs just really caught my eye. It's like a sheer, slightly teal mint to aqua thermal polish that has these copper and gold reflex in it, and I just think it is so pretty. Really caught my eye, made me stop and like scroll back a little bit to see what it looked like. I think this is a pretty one. If it's something you're interested in, definitely check out her Instagram or her website. Lime Crime released these 9-pan palettes. One is called Glory, one is called Aura. Obviously the Glory one is a little bit more warm toned, Aura is more cool toned. These really don't strike me as the same quality as the other Lime Crime palettes. This strikes me more as like a ColourPop palette in terms of quality, and I feel like for the pricing that Lime Crime charges, you can't put it in ColourPop packaging. Like ColourPop can get away with that because they're only charging you $12. So obviously the packaging is going to be like minimal. But if you're going to charge like 30 bucks for a palette, you need to actually make it worth $30. So I'm going to skip on that. Alright, the next thing is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette Volume 2. And what I've come to understand from the video that Charlotte Holcroft put out is that none of these shades are actually new shades. They are shades that already existed that they put into a second palette and happen to place very close to a woman of deep skin tone to take promo photos to try to pretend like they've increased their inclusivity and their shade range, and they haven't. So I really think that this is just even more insulting than not having included people of deeper skin tones, because now you're just pretending that these shades that you already had were inclusive when people have already told you very clearly that they weren't. So for me, this is a super pass, and I just think I'm going to be taking a break from Hourglass until I see that they're doing anything better in terms of, you know, being inclusive and not being dicks. Alright. The next thing is a launch from Rare Beauty, and they did, I believe, liquid lipsticks. Oh, I'm sorry. They have liquid eyeshadows, lip balms, and cream blushes. I think the colors are all really pretty in terms of the balms, the blushes, the eyeshadows, but I really just don't think I need any of this stuff. I feel like I have such a good collection in terms of those colors. I think it would have been cooler to see her play with different finishes in terms of, you know, like a more shimmery blush or potentially like more unusual colors. I think that would have been a little bit more eye-catching. I feel like all the colors that she picked are very like play it safe colors, and I think that's her brand. I think that's her shtick, and that's fine. But I just feel like I have enough of that for now. Alright. Makeup Cosmetics is releasing a light shifter dewing tint, which appears to be like a tinted moisturizer, and a finishing powder. So they have 6 shades of the finishing powder and 8 shades of the moisturizer. So the 6 shades of finishing powder I think is actually a really decent range for finishing powder. For the tinted moisturizer, I feel like there's a lot of lighter shades and not as many deeper shades, so I'm not as impressed by that. But the finishing powders, I do think that they put good thought into the colors that they picked for that. So I do think that that's pretty cool. Am I going to pick this up? The powder is $34. The moisturizer is $30. No, I don't think so. I just picked up a couple of tinted moisturizer type products recently, so I don't think I need to add any more to my collection right this second. Okay. The next thing to talk about is this new fruit collection from Milani. It's going to be available at Walgreens, and there are some blueberry products, peach products, cherry products, and avocado products, and I am like a sucker for avocado everything. But the marbled peach blush really caught my eye, as well as the cherry blush, because it seems like it's just a little bit like deeper and kind of like a smokier kind of color, so I really think that looks pretty. The avocado butter doesn't necessarily like do it for me, but you know, it's interesting that they're going there. I would have to see prices on some of this stuff. Oh, here we go. Lip gloss $8.99, lip balm $7.99, lip tint is $8.99, cream blushes are $8.99, the lip scrub is $9.99, setting spray is $9.99, brow gel is $8.99. So everything is running around 10 bucks. I would be tempted the next time I'm at Walgreens to maybe pick up one of those blushes and maybe one of the lip balms, especially if they're scented, because I am like a sucker for scented products. Okay. The next thing is the Tartelette Juicy palette, and it is a 20 pan, super neutral, slightly pink toned palette. And at first I saved this because I was like, who asked for this? Like, who really asked for this? But then I looked through Tarte's like Instagram and everything, and apparently they did actually run a poll recently asking if people would be interested in a larger version of the little Juicy palette, which came out as one of the trio in their holiday set from this last year. So apparently people did ask for this. Was not me though. I did not ask for this. This I think is pretty. And if it came to my house for free, I would be like, oh, okay, let me try it. Like, I'm cool with that. But to actually pay American dollars or any dollars for this palette, I just feel like would be a waste because I already have this like 15 times over in my collection. There's no way I would ever need that. Okay. The next thing is ColourPop is launching a Lunar New Year collection. It's called Lunar Has It. There's 2 9-pan palettes, lippy sticks, a super chalk highlighter, a lip mask, and a dry oil. The lip mask is a vanilla pearl, so I bet that looks so beautiful on the lips. I already have a ton of the Laneige lip masks, so I need to work through those before I pick any more up, but I would be interested in picking that up if it were a product that still existed by the time I was ready to purchase more. The little 9-pan palette I think is adorable if they keep those as like a separate empty Z palette kind of thing that you could buy. I would consider that. And the highlighter I think looks really, really pretty, but I think it would be just a little bit too deep for my skin tone unless I put on like a really strong blush. Maybe I can make it work. I don't know. Sigma Beauty is releasing a lip care trio of products. They have a lip balm, a lip gloss, and then I think, what is this, a mask? Yeah, a lip mask. They do look really pretty, but again, I feel like I'm good on lip products for now, especially because we aren't showing our lips that often right now. Okay, the next thing to talk about is the Makeup Murder Burner Phone palette. So I do have a video like way back in the very beginning of my channel that is talking about the Makeup Murder Partner in Crime palette, which is like this purpley pinky dream that they released last Valentine's Day. I love, love, love that palette. So I would definitely be interested in trying another palette. I did see the 3 colors that she has on her eyes in relation to the palette are shades that are existing in the palette. So it looks like those are 3 warm tone neutrals. So I'm hoping that the whole thing is not just neutrals, but we'll have to wait and see what the entire palette looks like before I can make a decision. Okay. Violet Voss is releasing the Windflower Fun-Sized Mini Palette. I really like these mini palettes. I feel like they are just enough to like really get some good use out of the palette, but not so much that you're dropping a huge like amount of money for the palette. Like, I think it's a good medium in terms of like size and cost, because they're $18 and you get 10 shades. This one is pretty. I feel like I already have this type of color scheme in my collection, so I don't need to pick it up, but I did pick up the Sweet Violet palette, and I have a video on that on my channel as well if you wanted to take a look at that. Again, it's a really early video, so like maybe don't take a look at it. But I do think the quality of these is nice. Alright, so the next thing is Midas Cosmetics released an unveiled berry nude palette and a cool nude palette, each of which are $18. They're 9 pans each. They hyped these up for the last, like, I would say 2 weeks or so. And I was so excited to see what they looked like. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be my jam. Like, I already want to buy it, and I don't even know what the inside looks like. And then they finally revealed the inside either yesterday night or this morning. And I'm disappointed. All of the colors look so meh in the pans. Like, they don't look like they stand out. They don't look like they would be rich and buttery. They just look very generic. And I feel so sad about that because I was so excited for this palette, or this set of palettes, because cool tone neutrals are like quickly becoming my jam. But this just wasn't it for me, and I'm so disappointed. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what else they tend to really plan to release this year, because I think they'll surely release some other things. I did love the Neon MUA collab that they did. I have the Dawn one because I'm a ghost. That one is really nice. And then I also really liked the Smoky Glow palette. So both of those I think are excellent products from this brand. This one just didn't appeal to me as much. Okay, the next thing to talk about is the Earth eyeshadow palette, which is from Charly Betty Beauty, which is a UK beauty brand. And it looks like it's about 9 pans of like yellowy orangey neutrals and then about 9 pans of like yellowy greeny kind of colors. So I think this looks really, really pretty. I don't think there's a single pressed glitter in it, which is awesome. It kind of, when you look at the swatches, gives me vibes of that like Game Beauty palette that just came out. Although I don't know anything about the quality of this particular brand, but it definitely caught my eye. It's costing $37.98, so it's a bit above what I would be willing to spend on a brand that I don't know anything about, but definitely I want to keep my eye out and see what else they come out with. The next thing to talk about is the Peachy Queen Book of Magic palette, and so this is a spellbook kind of palette. And basically what this is 3 like pages of a book. The first page is neutrals, the second page is like colorful shades, and then the third page is all pressed glitters. So already a third of the palette I'm not going to use because I don't put pressed glitters on my eyes. I'm way too afraid of like going blind or having to use eye drops or something horrible. I don't like things in my eye. So, and the neutrals, I don't need the neutrals. So really I'd be buying it for that middle page. I don't think you should ever buy a whole palette for something you're only going to use a third of, and this color story isn't enough for me to like be enticed into it. All in all, I feel like the book concept, it's like a cute concept in theory, but I feel like it makes it really unworkable, and I don't like it, and it's way too many shades. 72 shades in this palette. Like, you don't need a palette of 72 shades. So $42.99 saved. Alright, the next thing is from Kiko Milano, and Kiko is doing the Kiko Ray of Love collection for, I'm assuming, Valentine's Day release. And they have this like bronzer highlighter which has like a little heart-shaped pan in it, and they have what looks to be like maybe a baked bronzer. That might actually be a highlighter. It might be a highlighter for like medium to deep skin tones. And then they have a couple of lip products here, a gloss, and then something that looks like a sparkling lip balm, and then a lipstick. That lip balm is calling my name for sure. For sure. So I don't know when this is coming out, but I want to know. The next thing is Too Faced is releasing another one of these 8-pan palettes called Be My Lover, and it's cool tones, mostly pinky purpley shades. I feel like all of the other ones that they released like this were either this color scheme or like orangey browns. So I feel like this is really redundant and unnecessary. I think they're $27, these palettes. Yeah, they're $27. Pass. The next thing is from BH Cosmetics, and it is acne patches, and they're in all these cute little shapes. So they have like butterflies and stars and hearts and clouds and moons and rainbows and unicorns. Okay, maybe not rainbows and unicorns, but they have a lot. And you can get 36 stickers for $9, plus you can use any of the like affiliate codes for even further money off at BH Cosmetics. So I think that's actually a good deal. I did try some of the, I think, CosRX ones, and they work really nicely. So I may consider picking some of these up when I run out of the CosRX ones. And the last thing to talk about is this Lancome and Sophie Halette. They made a lipstick trio together, which has this beautiful like champagne and sort of a crimson lace overlay on it. 3 different colors. It's shades 196, 888, and 274. They're a blurred matte finish and high comfort texture. I don't know what that means. And I don't see a price yet. So I think the packaging on these is really, really pretty. If you can only buy them in the trio, I definitely won't, because I don't need 3 different lipsticks all at the same time that are of a brand and formula that I have not tried yet. But if you can buy just one, I might consider buying just one to see kind of what the formula is like. Okay. And I think that is going to do it for this week's new makeup releases, purchase or pass. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in this makeup look, there is going to be a video coming out hopefully later this week that will show you how I got this makeup look, so definitely stay tuned for that. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm going to catch you in my next video. Bye!